What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to our NHL NBA live stream coming at you on a Wednesday, February 28th. Live to go over some NHL games, a couple picks we're going to give out for tonight, as well as two matchups in the NBA, three in the college basketball world, as well as some other news going on in the NHL and NBA world. We'll start out in the NBA. We got the full crew here today. Going to start out MVP odds in the NBA with the MVP coming towards the end of the season. We have Jokic as a minus 135 favorite. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right behind him at plus 230. Luka Doncic 5-1. Giannis at 15-1, and Tatum just sitting at 40-1. What do you guys think? Can Jokic get this done again? Is there any value on Shai maybe to come in and sneak this backdoor MVP? Mackie, we'll see you. I'm liking the Joker to lock this up. I think as soon as this goes to minus money, they know what's going on.
Yeah, I think he'll lock it up as well. I think he's obviously the best player in the league, night in and night out. But I mean, what Luka's doing in Dallas is just insane. And I think he should be second, even though the season Shai's having. I'm not even trying to discredit that because we know that type of season that he's having as well. But Luka, the numbers he's putting up are insane, and these wins that they're getting, he's playing incredible basketball. And I think that the plus 500 has a lot of value on it. God forbid Joker goes down for a few games or something, and this thing's split right wide open. I think Luka's right there with the plus 500. I think that's best value.
Yeah, Mackie, those are some good points there. Yeah, like I said, it's good points by Mackie there. Luka and Shai, it's like you got some good odds there too on two new faces that haven't taken home that award yet. That's one thing that comes to my mind. Jokic, how many is he going to win? I mean, if he deserves it, obviously he would probably get it.
It's almost going to be like LeBron in like 2010s when
he's just going to run the table year in and out.
He's just not going to win it every single year.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm gonna take the value here. I like Luka and Shai. I think it's worthwhile to throw a little bit on both of them there with the value they're sitting at. And I think they're not going to go with the Joker again. I just don't see the NBA keep running that same face back. They want to get some of these young guys becoming the faces of the league. We've heard Tatum talk about it. He's pretty far out now. His Celtics doing a lot too with a lot of other people on the team. Giannis, you can never count him out. If they somehow found a way to go on a crazy run and push for that 1 seed somehow, I don't think they will. Then maybe you could see that. But yeah, I personally don't think it's the time to throw on Joker. Don't put your money on that now. You've missed that boat. It sailed away a long time ago when other people were favored and he was in the plus money. So I'd be looking at Gilgeous-Alexander and Doncic out there in the West. And whoever can push into that 1 seed kind of alludes to our next topic here in the NBA. Whoever can push to that 1 seed really will be the favorite to take home the MVP award, in my opinion.
Did you guys see what was the stat? Jokic just he third player to get a triple double against every team in the NBA, and I think he just had his 18th or 19th triple double of the season the other night.
That's crazy. Numbers like that are hard to compete with because nobody else is doing that.
That's the
crazy. I mean, yeah, that's the and the one night he did it with
mobility.
Did he do it with blocks the one night?
Yeah, dude, the numbers he puts up. I mean, he's definitely the best player in the league. This stretch that he's going on, this 5-year stretch, is like one of the most dominant in NBA history.
I mean, he's averaging 26, 12, and 9 assists. Like, he's basically averaging the triple-double.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But, yeah, we'll keep moving on. Like we said, going to look into who we like to win these conferences in the East and West. Celtics, obviously, the heavy favorite in the East. The odds a little bit more, easy to talk in the West with no heavy favorite. Like we just said, Jokic and the Nuggets at plus 200. The Clippers, 240. Thunder, that young team at 8-1. Who do you guys have coming out of the West this year?
Do you guys, Huff, you're the big Denver Nuggets guy. Do you think they win the West this year, regular season? I know it doesn't mean as much 1 versus 3 seeds anywhere in that range. Not too much of a difference.
Yeah.
But do you think they're able to take it home and be that odds-on favorite coming out of the regular season?
Dude, I don't know why, but I've been watching this Thunder team so much, and I truly think there is value on them there. They're so young that they're that kind of team. When you get in the playoffs, they're not going to have the load management that these older teams are going to have. Like, I'm worried the Clippers are, we're up 3-1 in the series or 3-2. Let's take the night off, that kind of bullshit. I just can't trust this Clippers team to go far. I truly think there is value in this young Thunder team. I think Chet is going to match up good in the playoffs with some of these bigger guys. Obviously, Shai, the season that he's having, I like him to carry that over. And they have one of the best benches out of all those teams in the West. I think there's definitely some value on Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
the value is
nothing.
The value is definitely there at 8-1. But I don't know.
I like 40-1 coming into the season.
I like these vet teams, man. I think the Clippers, man. I've been saying it for a while. I think these Clippers are definitely, especially in the playoffs. You have
Playoff
Kawhi in the
Kawhi.
playoffs Kawhi in the playoffs is just not fair. Then you have Harden playing
So
like he
much
was in
help.
2020, 2019, and Russ is playing pretty well. Obviously, you have Paul George. Paul George got to get over that hump in the playoffs, but this team is built for a championship. I think the plus 240 odds there. If anyone's going to dethrone those Nuggets, I really think it's going to be them.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the Clippers too. A lot of talks we talked about all these trades at the beginning. It didn't start off too hot, and they said just wait, and they've kind of hit their stride. Like Mackie said, I love the veteran presence, scoring from so many different angles. You have the defense with Kawhi, other players too. Paul George still there. I know he's not playoff P, but James Harden looked like he was himself last year in the playoffs, hitting those deep threes, dropping some big games. So I would like to see them. I like the value there at plus 240. I think it's just only going to drop going further. So that's where I'd put mine. I don't think the Thunder are able to win the West just yet, even though it is a crazy value for such a deep, deep team.
Here's my thing with the Thunder right now. They sit with the second seed. We just saw Anthony Edwards go down with it looked like a pretty bad ankle injury last night. You got to think Minnesota's going to start to drop some games here and there. If Oklahoma City ends the season as the 1 seed and the West runs through Oklahoma, I like a young team to defend their home floor, especially if Denver has to go there for a game 7, or obviously right now, if the season ended today, Minnesota's the 1 seed and that's Thunder at the 2, Nuggets 3, Clippers 4. Clippers would get the Pelicans in the first round. I think we all would pick the Clippers in probably 5, maybe 6 games if you want to give them the extra one. But even if not a sweep, I honestly could see the Clippers sweep them. But this Pelicans team, they are pretty good. They've been playing pretty good the past couple of weeks. I don't know. I think if the Clippers have to go to Denver to start a series, I don't like their chances to get out in front on a series, and I like the Nuggets to close that team out.
Yeah, I'm with those two.
I think if the Clippers want to win the West, they got to get to the 2 seed.
Yeah, agreed. They have to have a strong finish here down the stretch when everybody's going to be pushing. And you're not going to get an easy play-in matchup either. It's going to be some veteran teams that have been there before. So just win those games as you can now and stack them.
I just think they have to get ahead of the Nuggets, to be honest.
Yeah, that's mainly what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's mainly what I'm saying. You don't want Denver having home court.
I don't think
exactly.
I think that if they can play Denver at home 4 out of 7 games, that they should have no problem beating any of these other teams in 7 games.
Yeah, when I say they're going to get to the 2 seed, that's assuming that Denver's not the 1 seed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I won't be scared if Minnesota somehow just ends up the 1 seed in the West. I don't think anyone's scared of them, especially now knowing Anthony Edwards. We don't know what his injury is going to look like, but
I think
what were you going to say?
I think OKC gets that 1 seed in the West.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah, we'll jump over. We have 2 games in the NBA tonight. Speaking of those New Orleans Pelicans, heading over to where they headed, Indianapolis to take on the Pacers. Pacers -7, Pelicans money line plus 210 on this one. I took the Pacers the other day against those Mavericks. Mavericks obviously a big win streak headed into that game on Sunday. I trusted Halliburton to get the job done. They did. How are you guys leaning on this one? Did anyone look into this? Have any plays going? I lean on the Pacers minus the 7 points at home. Every time I bet against this Pelicans team, though, I feel like I don't do good. So I just don't have a good read on this team. Yeah, Trey Murphy's playing really good for them. He's average. I think he had 26 the other night. Zion with 20. That team, they get going. They really do play pretty good basketball, and they're definitely a scary team. But I lean on the Pacers minus the 7 points in this game. Mackie, if you want to kind of give a more of an analysis, if you looked at this game at all.
I didn't dive deep into this game yet, but Pelicans on a back-to-back. They played the Knicks last night, absolutely smoked them. Obviously, a really injured Knicks team, but I don't know. Pacers at home, I think that they can they can cover on a Pelicans team that's playing on a back-to-back. Could be a good one. You need Halliburton to just have one of those games. Last game, I think it was last game, maybe it wasn't. He had a really bad game, 4 points, I think, deep in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, that offense runs through him. So, if he can have a good game, I think they should be able to find a cover here.
Yeah, Mackie, you're talking about Halliburton there. Obviously, we know he's the heart and soul of that team, what he's able to do. He's their X factor. But they did bring in Spicy P a couple weeks ago, and he's been heating up for them too. Really veteran all-star piece. He's been putting up 25 plus night in, night
champion.
out. Yeah, NBA champion too. Let's not forget that. Probably the only one on that roster. So good presence to bring in there. He's been playing great basketball as well. 7 points does scare me against a feisty Pelicans team, but the fact that they're on a back-to-back does lead me to be inclined that I think the Pacers will be able to cover. I might buy a couple points, 1 or 2 here. Steeper line, but I'd feel safer with that lower number. 7, it's just too big for two playoff-bound teams, in my opinion. I looked more into this later game. We have the Battle of LA. I think, Huff, you can introduce that one. That's going to be a good matchup.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just going to say Battle of LA tonight. Lakers lead this season series 2-1. I saw a stat the Lakers have not won this season series since 2011. So that was an interesting one. Clippers are 3.5-point favorite, minus 155 on the money line. Lakers at plus 135. I do lean on the Clippers to get the job done and even this series up. They've been pretty hot the past couple weeks. Lakers been cooling off. They've been picking up some tough wins and then having a couple of tough losses to go right along with them. Can't seem to string anything together right now, and I definitely lean on the Clippers to handle the 3.5 tonight.
Yeah, especially with AD being active for tonight, it makes it even a tougher bargain. I think that's why that line's so low. But I am in on the Clippers as well for all the reasons we were saying earlier when I think that they can win the West. Too many options versus this Lakers team. I know the Lakers are having guys like Ruiz start stepping up and some of their other depth pieces, but when you go guy by guy, I think there's too much talent on the Clippers side of the ball. I think they're able to even up the series. Like you said, bulletin board material for both teams going into tonight. This should be a highly contested game, though. I think you're not going to have a clear winner until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, Paul George
Look
is
at Clippers
out.
with the points, though.
Paul George is out tonight, but
Yep,
I think the
no
Clippers
Paul
still get it
George.
done.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm going to be taking that one, too.
Yeah, I definitely like that. So we'll move over into the NHL. Got a couple points in the NHL, and like I said, 2 games going tonight. A smaller slate in the NHL. Definitely more NBA games in NHL tonight. Just wanted to pick those 2 out. But we'll start in the NHL, where the Vancouver Canucks currently lead the NHL standings with 83 points. Coming into today, like I said, today is February 28th. So coming into tonight, before tonight's games, 83 points in 61 games. Meanwhile, the Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins are close behind, 82 points apiece, both leading the Eastern Conference with the points. Who do we think finishes the year with the most points and wins, brings home that President's Trophy in the NHL? I'll start us out. I do think it's Vancouver. I think Vancouver finishes this strong season that they've had, gets it done. I think Florida's legit. Obviously, I put them at the number 1 spot in our power rankings this week. They've caught a different fire that they looked like they had last year in the playoffs whenever they obviously went on to lose in the Cup Finals to Vegas. But I think Vancouver will get this job done in that weak division that they're in. I think they'll eat up on some of those bottom feeders and get a couple more wins than Florida can. In a tough division Florida's in. It's just more division and the teams that they're going to be playing down the stretch. And I like Vancouver to get more and secure that President's Trophy.
I'm finally bought in on this Vancouver team a little bit too. I think they're going to be regular season heroes. Playoffs going to be a whole different beast. Eager for that series. I'm going to find some value on some teams they go up against, I think. But in the regular season, I think they're going to keep pace. They have the stars to do it. It's a whole different game. I don't think they're built as much for the playoffs with their undersized superstars. But Thatcher Demko really standing on his head too. I like what they're able to do. They put up a lot of goals night in, night out. I think they're going to finish up with the most points in the West and in the NHL. I think in the East, the Panthers, I mean, they were flying. They've been hot for a while now, but it kind of reminds me of that heat stroke they had going into the playoffs last year. The only thing I am worrying about, and I'm kind of not too mad about the Bruins slump right now, is I'd rather get the slump out of the way right now for Boston than pick up that heat going into the playoffs, kind of be like the team the Panthers were. I'm wondering if the Panthers will fizzle out or if they'll be able to keep this hot streak going for so long when it matters so much. Like, yeah, it's good now to stack those points, but you want to be the hot team going into the playoffs in the NHL. It'll be something to watch. I do think either team can finish atop. Wouldn't mind a Boston-Toronto series in round 1. That'd be pretty nuts. But wouldn't be too mad if we took home that first seed in the Atlantic as well. So that'll be something fun to watch coming down the stretch. I don't think Mackey's Rangers sitting right there too. A couple other teams that definitely could take home. This point race is not too far apart. But of these 3, I still think the Canucks are going to end with the most points in the league this season.
Yeah,
Your Bruins have a tough schedule coming. Do you see that?
They're like top 3 hardest schedules left in the.
Yeah, they had that at the halfway point. I think Mackey highlighted that.
Yeah, but one team I'm looking at a little further down is the Jets. They've only had 57 games played. Connor Hellebuyck's Vezina. He's the leading right now. So I think that they're just going to keep winning. Players like Kyle Connor really stepping up. Sean Monahan even playing really well. Dog. Obviously Mark Scheifele as well. But I think that it's going to be between the Canucks and the Jets. At the end of the day, you're going to see Demko versus Hellebuyck, and I think whoever finishes on top should actually probably win that Vezina.
Not a bad take. And those Jets, like you said, that's a good take, Mackie. I like where they are too, weaker division also. They have a lot of depth pieces. Kyle Connor healthy now, like you said. Gabe Velarde stepping up. Nikolai Ehlers. They still have Josh Morrissey on the point. They have a lot of big names out there in Winnipeg. They've been doing it for a while too. This Canucks team is kind of new face on the scene. But the Jets, they haven't gotten over the hump and won a cup or gotten to a cup. But they've been right there in the upper echelon of the Western Conference for some time. Wouldn't be surprised for them to take a run either.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of looking further on into the standings. We'll go through the top 8 wild card standings, kind of playoff format for each conference. I'll start out with the East. Atlantic first. The first seed is the Florida Panthers. Then A's Bruins and the Maple Leafs as the top 3 in the Atlantic. Metro is Mackey's Rangers, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Philadelphia Flyers at the 3 spot. And then currently the 2 wild card teams are Detroit in the first slot with 72 points, and then Tampa Bay with 69, and then the fall off to New Jersey with 64, the Capitals with 63, and me and Jesse's Pens down 62. Big win last night in Vancouver, but not going to be enough. Need to go on a little streak here. Definitely have a couple winnable games coming. I'd like to see us get back up in that conversation, but with the way they've been playing the past couple of weeks, definitely deserve to be where we're at. If not a little bit lower, just can't points in games like compared to Aces Bruins, who when they're down 2-1 in the third, they just find a way to force overtime every fucking game, at least in the past 2 weeks. Mackie, you're the one that brought that up. I started paying attention to it, and I'm like, fuck, I really wish I would have been betting this the past whole week, but I think it was 8 or 6 of 8 or 7 of 8 have gone to overtime in their past games. But who do you guys, we'll kind of start out. Who do you think will be the 2 wildcard teams come the end of April?
I think it's
Yeah, I think
it's
those.
gonna be
I think the Lightning really need to watch out. I mean, they're slacking left and right, and these
Lightning
teams
Devils.
behind them.
Bang bang. That's my tip.
Who?
Lightning Devils.
You don't think the Red Wings are going to make the playoffs?
Are they going to be able to hang on, come down the stretch? I don't believe in that goaltending too much. And even if they do get in, I think they're an early bounce. But yeah, they're a bit higher up right now in those standings. I think the Devils are going to make a really big splash at the trade deadline that's going to boost them. And they have too much talent to be left out of the playoffs this year. Like you said, if I saw one of those teams fall out over the Devils or Lightning, I know right now it doesn't look like it'd be Lightning, but I would take the Lightning to fall out with the way Vazzy's been playing, that team aging and the depth not there as much. I just don't. I don't think the Wings get in this year. I still think they're another year out.
Oh, I think the Wings are a clear wild card team. I think that they can get that 3 seed, to be honest. But they're just playing really good hockey right now. That could obviously fall off, but they got a lot going for them.
Kaner and the Cat.
Yeah, I mean they're just playing really good hockey right now. I could just be hopping on the train because they're hot. But what I'm seeing, I like what I'm seeing over there. I think the Lightning fall out. I really do. I think they're playing really bad hockey. Vasilevsky hasn't been looking the best, and they're kind of lackadaisical. They let one go last night. It was a 1-1 game. Gave up 3 goals in like 4 minutes. It was just a terrible performance. They didn't look good at all. But I think they're going to fall out. I think any one of those 3 teams, Devils, Caps, or Penguins, can easily get into that last spot. The Penguins have the games on the other 2 teams, and it's going to be a tight race down the road. They have to win their games in a row. They have to win 3-4 games in a row. I don't know if the Penguins are really doing that this year. They always got to drop one to like a shit team like Columbus or something. They have to go on that streak. Jari's got to go on a streak. Crosby's got to keep playing the way he is. Jesus Christ, but he's got to get the support. So
yeah, but Mackie, here's the big thing. So we have this note coming up, getting ahead in our outline here. The March 8th trade deadline is looming, right? I think some of those teams might end up being sellers. Caps, Penguins, Isles. Those veteran teams. You think they're going to buy going in? I think Devils are definitely looking to add.
I think the line is at the Penguins. I think anybody under the Penguins should not be buying into this. But I mean, dude,
you think the Pittsburgh Penguins should buy?
The Penguins have 5 games on the Lightning, and they're only 7 points back. 5 games on them.
Tall order though.
They have it. If they can just go on a 5-game winning streak, they are a playoff team at the moment. Like at that moment.
Tall order.
Here's kind of how I'm looking at it.
But
I don't love Philly to sit in that top 3 in the Metro personally.
Yeah,
I think kind of like Ace said. I think the Devils can steal that third slot in the Metro. I'm not huge on this Flyers team. They are hanging around. Credit to them. I'm obviously not a huge fan of being a Pittsburgh fan, but like looking at their schedule, they have a bunch of matchups coming up against Toronto, Florida, Boston, your Rangers twice in the month of March. I just think they have a bunch of tough matchups, twice against the Bruins, twice against the Rangers, twice against the Panthers.
That stretch from March 14th to March 26th
is going to knock the Flyers out of the playoffs.
They play the Bruins twice, the Maple Leafs twice, the Hurricanes, the Panthers, and the Rangers.
I was looking at Ace. Here's the schedule. March 14th, just starting in March 14th. Home against the Maple Leafs, at the Bruins, home against the Maple Leafs, at Carolina, home against the Bruins, home against the Panthers, at the Rangers, and then you get Canadians and Blackhawks.
And what do you do when they go 4-3 in that span?
you probably start to believe in them a little bit.
I still think
I
I
believe in
think they're
them
going to
now.
sell. But
The
Mackie,
entire-
here's the tough
You
thing.
think they're gonna
How-
sell? They're in the third spot in the
I've
Met
seen
right
I've
now.
seen
You
a,
think they're
I've seen
gonna
a lot of
sell?
I've seen a lot of rumors about that going around. The Flyers are looking to move pieces because they still don't think this is their time. If they got in the playoffs, they're not going to make any noise either. And the one thing I'm worried about is without Carter Hart, they're leaning on Samuel Ersson heavily. I don't think he's going to be able to carry that down the stretch so long.
He's playing great hockey. I mean, look how much
No,
they've
he
gone
is,
through this
but
year. The entire thing with like Cutter Gauthier, and then the
yeah,
entire thing with like with Carter Hart, your star goaltender, and they're still playing great hockey. They're still holding that spot in that three seed in the Met. I know the Met's a little weaker this year than it's been. You don't have the Devils playing good hockey, but they're holding strong. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. All this shit going on in the clubhouse. These guys are stepping up. Like these guys last night were sniping Vasilevsky, one of the top goalies in the league, just picking corners. I mean, you have these no-name guys stepping up. If they're going to keep playing like this, I mean, they're not falling off. Like they're not. They're going to get wins against good teams.
I'm more just looking at that. I just look at that stretch, Mackie, and I'm like, I got to see that what they do in that stretch.
I mean,
Mackie, I will say this though. You think that so you're on both the Red Wings and the Flyers. You don't think either of them take a tumble towards the crucial part of the season? I think at least one of them will.
I mean, the Red Wings actually have some room, and the Flyers also have some room. I think that they can take a little tumble because all these teams on the outside looking in are not playing great hockey. They're all taking tumbles as well. Penguins are the only team that's
The
on a
trade
3-game
deadline
win
is going to
streak
be
right now.
massive, though. I saw some rumors of the Devils getting UC Saros. Imagine if they can add someone like that.
I don't really think goaltending is the Devils' problem. They have nothing going on right now.
They don't have a
Absolutely
goalie at all. They don't have a
They
goalie
have
at all.
nothing. They have no goal scorers either. Jack Hughes.
They do though. They do though. I mean, they put up a 7-point effort last night. Maybe that'll spark them down the stretch.
Play the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
Devils
always
Devils
helps,
fans
too.
are in shambles right now. They're all
Those are
calling
pick me up games.
fire
You know
when
they're
you're
good.
up.
I don't think they're dead. I don't think they're dead in the water though. I don't think they're dead in the water.
that team has too much skill to be dead in the water, but they're not
That's
a
what I'm
playoff
saying.
team right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm eager to revisit this in a few weeks, especially once you get past that trade deadline. I think at least one of those two teams that are exceeding their expectations will take a drop off, but we'll see. Maybe it's time for some new faces.
All right, let's move over to the Western Conference. I'll go through kind of similar, the same way I did it. We'll start in the Central. Jets and the Stars are tied with 79 points, and then Colorado right behind them with 77. And then in the Pacific, Vancouver with 83, and then Vegas and Edmonton to round out the top three in the Pacific. The two wildcard teams in the West currently sit as the LA Kings in the first slot, who are tied with the Predators in that second spot, both with 68 points. And then the fall off to the Calgary Flames with 63, so a 5-point difference there. And then the Blues with 62, and as well as the Wild with 62. West definitely a little bit tighter, not as much closer to the bubble,
wild
but
card.
yeah, I was going to say the wild card teams, I don't love any of those coming out of there, but obviously going to see some movement. I like Colorado to possibly jump up and, take control of that Central Division. They've been playing pretty good the past couple of weeks, sitting 2 points behind Winnipeg and Dallas. Dallas has not been playing good hockey the past couple of weeks. Been avoiding them at least the past couple of games. You saw them lose to Ottawa the other night, or 2 nights ago, or last night to Colorado. Got stomped, I think 4 or 5-1. I like the Avalanche to come out on top in that division. Like I said, I think Vancouver ends the season with the best record. So that's kind of who I like to win each division out west. And then I think the wild card teams, pending the movement you see up top, I think the 8 teams that are in the playoffs will be teams that make it in the West.
Yeah, and I think those top 6 out of those 8 would be the only ones to worry about. I don't see any bubble team, wildcard team making any noise going into the year. I guess maybe the Kings are the scariest group, but still no confidence out there.
I'm not really scared of the Kings anymore. They started hot. That's what's keeping them afloat, but they've been playing terrible hockey the second half. But I don't know. I can see the Flames maybe sneak into this last spot over the Predators. Predators aren't much of a playoff team either.
Flames are looking to move their top 2 defensemen though.
Yeah, if they're going to sell,
Hannafin.
if they're going to sell, then that can just go downwards. But yeah, I mean, a team like that, they don't think that they're going to win anything this year anyway. So you might as well sell and just rebuild for next year. But I mean, I think that they're good enough this year to at least make a playoff team, or to be a playoff team if they didn't sell.
I think the biggest points is like Huff was saying. I think the Avs can make that jump to the 1 seed on their side, and I think the Jets they could push those Canucks like Mackie was saying earlier for that top spot in the NHL. It'll be something fun to watch. A lot of good high end teams out there in the West, and a lot of bottom dwellers.
Absolutely. We got 2 games, like I said, tonight in the NHL. We kind of already went through the trade deadline. We got 2 games tonight in NHL. The Columbus Blue Jackets heading to MSG to take on Mackey's Rangers. Columbus coming in this game is plus 210 on the money line. Rangers minus 1.5 at the minus 105. Mackey, you want to start us out here? You taking your Rangers on tonight to cover the puck line?
Yeah, the Rangers just dropped one to the Jackets 3 nights ago, 4-2.
Yup.
Ended our 10-game winning streak. Had to happen sooner or later. Of course, it's going to happen to a team like that. But Quick was in net, so Shesterkin's back tonight. Been playing incredible. Easily the best goalie in the league since the All-Star break. So I think that in the Garden they're going to take care of business tonight. The minus 250, not much value there, obviously. You want to take the minus
Puck line.
1.5. I think they get it done, but never.
I think they're going to come out with a
take
vengeance. They're going to stomp Columbus after ruin that losing streak in the locker room. They got to be talking about that bounce back game here against a weaker team at home. I like both favorites tonight on the puck line. I'm leaning both. I know it's not great value anywhere around, but I just think there's no way these two teams lose. So that's what I'm locking in here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was leaning on the Rangers minus the 1.5, and then like you said, the night game, St. Louis heading to Edmonton. Edmonton minus 1.5 is minus 115, a little bit steeper than those Rangers. And the Blues are plus 228 on the line. I definitely lean on the same way as well. I'm not a big prop guy. I was looking at McDavid's goal scorer. I think he's minus 105 or minus 110. ACU starting to take those goal scorer props, started kind of making me look into some of the value on those and some of the prices on those. I was looking at that.
Did you see McDavid's quote the other day, though? He said, I'm not shooting the puck anymore. I'm just going to pass. I'm going to be Johnny Appleseed. I mean, he put up 6 assists a couple weeks ago in a game, so whatever the hell gets it done. So that's why I'm going to stay away because he's scaring me, but I wouldn't be surprised if he lights the lamp tonight. Mackie, give us a goal scorer pick real quick in that Rangers game.
We'll go Trocheck. I think Trocheck varies tonight. No, it's been ice cold.
Some good value probably on Vinny too.
Yeah, get Trocheck. Give me a laugh. Give me a laugh for Nier. He's been hot, man.
Team total over as well. I like that for the Rangers and the Oilers tonight. I think they run both goalies out of the barn.
Yeah, absolutely. Some good picks there in the NBA and NHL. Some quick matchups tonight in college basketball. We have a top 25 matchup. We do have a card play on this one. The Auburn Tigers heading to Tennessee, take on Dalton Neck in the Volunteers. We got Tennessee locked in at -7 on the card. This line was moving. I saw 6.5 this morning. Now sitting at 7.5. So make sure you're shopping where you're getting this one. But obviously, we both like Tennessee to come out on top here, cover the number at home. This is a good 4 versus 11 matchup. Like you don't want to miss this one. Mackie, do you have any other kind of insight on this one? I mean, we're betting on Tennessee. It's our only play of the night. I kind of figured we wouldn't just this.
Yeah, Tennessee, just expecting to roll in this game at home. Just get the job done, man. You're on your home floor.
Absolutely. Yeah. Minnesota heading to Illinois, a Big Ten matchup tonight. Minnesota 23-4 against the spread this season. Definitely one of America's favorite teams covering the spread all the time. But do you like them to pick up their 24th win tonight?
Only 24% of bets in them tonight as well. So if you really want to follow that trend tonight, or with the Gophers, tonight's a very good night to do it.
What are they, plus 11? 12?
Yeah, I was looking into it.
I like that as well. I definitely would lean with that trend, and obviously, like you said, if only 20% people in Minnesota. I'm not big on this Illinois team anyway, but they are good at home. Lastly, we have an SEC matchup where Alabama's heading to Ole Miss. Ole Miss 1-4 in their last 5. Alabama 3-2 in their last 5. I don't know the exact spread on where this one sits at. Did you take a look at the game or you have the opinion on it, which way you would go on the spread?
Bama's 5.5. It was 6.5 earlier. Bama's on the road as well. I just think, dude, Ole Miss gives up so many points, and Alabama can shoot the lights out of the ball. I think that Alabama absolutely rolls in this game. But, I mean, they're on the road. They could have a rough shooting night. We could see a good game. Ole Miss knows how to score the ball as well, so it could be closer than I anticipate. But I think Alabama rolls.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I've taken Ole Miss on and off throughout the season. I, for some reason, continue to have faith in them.
They're fake nice.
Exactly. Dude, every time I take them, I'm like, fuck me. This is a bad play.
Yeah.
I've hit on them a lot early on in the year, but the past couple of weeks, they've been burning me.
Yeah, big time.
I forget who I took them with. Who'd they play Saturday? I took them Saturday.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. That was it.
South Carolina smoked
I'm
them.
not big on South Carolina either, though.
I'm a little. They're good, dude. They're good. They weren't supposed to be good. That's probably why you're not big on them. They don't really have the names, but they play so well.
I don't know. That's the team I don't think they're not Sweet
They're not
16,
going
Elite
deep.
8.
They're not
territory.
going deep.
Yeah, no.
No, but they are.
No.
They are. I mean, they could definitely.
They'll definitely they'll definitely fuck some shit up towards the end of the season. Like they have dude. I saw who was it? I think maybe is Tennessee's last 3 games of the season, dude, are all against ranked teams right now. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull this up. It was like Kentucky, South Carolina, and I think Alabama. They have to play their last 3 games against all in March. Let me see here. Yep, at Alabama, at South Carolina, home against Kentucky are their last 3 games.
That's tough, and they're playing Auburn tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's tough, man. Let's see how they end the season.
Last 4 games are against ranked teams. That's
It's
crazy.
going to be really telling for Tennessee. See
Tennessee.
how strong they actually are.
Yeah. I definitely think I could see them draw there. Obviously, we know the thing with Rose in college basketball. I still like them to either get a win in Alabama or in South Carolina. I don't love them to win both.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to do it. That's basically all we got. Some NBA plays, some NHL plays, 3 college basketball games going tonight. It's going to do it for us. We'll make sure you're tuning into the podcast tomorrow night or tomorrow whenever it gets posted out there. We're going to be going through a lot of what's going on in this world, more depth, NBA, NHL, college basketball, maybe even a little bit of MLB talk as we get closer to the start of opening day in a few weeks. But thanks, and we'll see you guys next week.